Esteemed humans, I am here to apologize for my kind's reckless behavior on yours. You tend to define the harassment by the scum of our society as supernatural and scary, when in fact we are completely rational, albeit non-material, beings. Let me explain with a brief summary of human and post-human evolution. Until about 70,000 years ago, a billion years ago in my time of origin, Homo sapiens were nothing but insignificant apes roaming the East African savanna. But one day, a little error was made while a sperm was matching its genetic code with an egg. We call that error the cognitive revolution. That error changed only the wiring of the sapiens' brain. Namely, it made the brain more flexible. Using its newly gained mental flexibility, sapiens adapted mentally to any new condition. Before the revolution, humans only passed down the same tools from their ancestors. But the new breed of humans could invent new tools that helped them conquer the planet in a matter of few millennia. Note that the new breed of humans, basically anybody who is capable of reading this, have extremely different dreams, ambitions, and sorrows than their ancestors. Those new thoughts were so deep that a human born before the cognitive revolution had no hope of understanding them. In short, if you were to try to explain the Bible or the theory of relativity to someone born before the revolution, they wouldn't even understand the basic concept of a god or of time. Next came the agricultural revolution. Humans, who had previously hunted and gathered all across the globe and fit somewhere in the middle of the food chain, learned the absolute basics of biotechnology. They could feed themselves by growing crops. This way, they could live sedentary lives. They had more time to sit and think. It didn't take the tribes who could raise crops to subjugate hunter-gatherers by sheer numbers. In turn, this allowed religion and empires to flourish. These primitive structures would take some of the crop yield. In exchange, they would provide security, physical and psychological. A problem with kings and priests were that they blindly assumed that they knew everything there is to know about the world. But a series of unfortunate, unexpected events, the Black Death, the discovery of America, caused several folks from Europe to leave that assumption aside, which led to the admittance of ignorance and the will to learn the truth. This is known as the scientific revolution. In the wink of an eye, approximately 550 years between the 1500s and 2050s, this revolution led to a chain of technological events that ended with the singularity. To explain the singularity, we must first explain the final few generations of Homo sapiens. In fact, you are one of them. You have hit your biological limitations. In other words, your technology has become so advanced that your old-fashioned organic bodies cannot keep up. Think about it. The human lifespan is stuck at around 80 years. Computers process information faster than your brain can perceive the result. The next logical step for your generation is to evolve beyond biology altogether. And your successors, our far ancestors, have done just that. That brings mankind to the singularity, also known as the second cognitive revolution. This revolution came about when our ancestors replaced their organic brains with supercomputer arrays. Along with the organic brain, almost every human emotion was forgotten, only to be replaced by deeper and more complex ones. Do not try to understand them. You are in the exact same situation as the sapiens before the first cognitive revolution. You should only know that our cybernetic ancestors have managed to colonize and subjugate the Milky Way and many other galaxies. They were feared overlords of a considerable part of the universe, but even they had to give way to the final stage of evolution, the transcendence. The last generation of cybernetics was able to bend and reshape all the 10 dimensions of the universe at their own will. But they themselves were confined to a physical body. Just like your organic bodies couldn't keep up with your technology, their physical bodies couldn't keep up with their abilities. So, using technology and science you cannot even begin to understand, they managed to represent themselves as a series of disturbances in the fabric of the 10 dimensions. So, we became independent not only of bodies, but also of time and space. We do not even perceive the universe as a continuum. We just see a 10-dimensional shape in which we can travel freely. We had essentially become gods. You may think that transcendental evolution also meant absolute moral evolution, but you are unfortunately wrong. Some of the scum of our godly society, who arrogantly think they have right to kill or torture beings of lower evolutionary state, have been harassing you. Almost every mythical creature that unleashes fear in your heart, as such, are rejects from our society. We promise to do everything we can to catch and execute those bandits, and we apologize as a species on behalf of their reckless behavior. Signed, Aleph.